All right, let's get right into it. What if I told you that the real secret to winning in crypto trading is actually not trading? Yeah, I know, it sounds totally backward, right? But today we're going to unpack a professional mindset that's not about finding more trades, but about aggressively, and I mean aggressively, getting rid of the bad ones. You know, it's the ultimate question. We all look at those charts zipping up and down, and we just assume the pros are in there, 24/7, catching every single little wiggle. But is that really how it works? Is that the reality of professional trading?
And boom, here it is. The very first, and maybe the biggest, mindset shift you need to make. Most of us, we're hunters. We're looking for any excuse, any signal to jump into a trade. The pros? They do the exact opposite. They are professional bouncers. They're running a super strict filtering system designed to keep them out of almost everything. Their edge isn't in finding winners, it's in removing losers before they even happen.
To really nail this down, we're going to borrow a term from poker, and it's called the pre-flop fold. It's simple. You look at your cards, you know they're junk, and you fold before you waste any serious money. In trading, this is all about how you use your capital. It's about looking at a setup and deciding, you know what, this just isn't good enough to risk my money, my time, or my mental energy on. So before we even look at a single chart or talk about any tools, we have to start right here, inside your own head. Because a professional's edge is built in their mind way before they ever click the buy or sell button. Let's break down the frameworks they use. First up is a big one, opportunity cost. Every single time you get into a trade, even a tiny one, you're not just risking the cash in that position. You're also tying up critical resources that you can't use on a truly perfect A+ setup that might show up literally 5 minutes later. And these are those three resources. Capital, well, that's the obvious one, your money. But mental bandwidth, that's just as valuable. Trying to manage a meh trade just sucks your focus and energy. And then there's risk capacity. Every trade you're in uses up a piece of your risk budget, which means you can't take on as much risk if a much better opportunity comes along. So it all just boils down to this one simple but incredibly powerful question that the pros are asking themselves constantly. And if the answer isn't a loud, clear, heck yes, then folding is pretty much always the right move. Your job isn't just to trade, it's to put your capital to work only when the odds are overwhelmingly in your favor. And this right here, this is a huge discipline. Most traders see something, a breakout, a tweet, whatever, and they feel this immediate need to do something. They confuse watching the market with having to act on it. Professionals, on the other hand, have mastered the art of observing without participating. They can watch 20 things happen at once and be perfectly fine acting on 0 of them. I love this quote because it's so true. Just think about it for a second. The absolute best trades you've ever taken, were they super complicated? Probably not. They were likely obvious, clean, just jumping off the screen. If you have to write a whole essay to convince yourself to get into a trade, you're probably forcing it. Now this is a serious psychological upgrade. You have to stop thinking of yourself as a trader who has to trade. Instead, start seeing yourself as an elite filter. Your default setting, your natural state, is no trade. Your main job is to watch the market and prove, again and again, that doing nothing is the right call. Looking at a chart and saying, nope, nothing here, that's a win. That's good execution. And all of this folding, it does something else that's absolutely critical. It protects your mind. Your trading performance will fall off a cliff if it's driven by emotion. Every one of those little impulsive trades is like a tiny emotional paper cut. A small loss makes you frustrated. A lucky win makes you cocky. Missing a big move gives you FOMO. By folding on all the mediocre stuff, you keep your mind calm and stable. And that is a massive edge in this game.
Okay, so we've covered the internal game, the mindset. Now let's talk about how to turn that mindset into a real, external, practical system. These are the actual tools you can use to force yourself to be disciplined.
Think of this checklist as your personal, non-negotiable bouncer. Before a single dollar gets put at risk, you have to have a crystal clear, confident yes for every single one of these. Is the overall trend on my side? Do I know where the stop losses are that could fuel the move? Am I getting in at a good price? Do I know exactly where this idea is proven wrong? And finally, is the potential profit at least 3 times bigger than what I'm risking? And the rule here is just absolute. If even one of those things is a kinda or an I'm not so sure, then it's a fold. End of story. Why? Because pros aren't just looking for any old trade. They are hunting for asymmetric opportunities. Setups where the potential reward is just ridiculously bigger than the risk. That's the only game worth playing. Here's another simple little trick you can use. Make patience your filter.
Before you slam that buy button, just stop and ask yourself this question. A really strong setup, well, it often gets even better if you wait for a little more confirmation. It gets stronger with patience. A weak setup, it usually just falls apart if you give it a few minutes. Most of our worst trades happen because we're in a rush.
Okay, I absolutely love this one. Most people just track their wins and losses. But the real learning, the real gold, is in tracking the trades you didn't take. Seriously, start a journal of your good folds. Write down that trade you were dying to take, the one you were really feeling the FOMO on, but you followed your rules and you stayed out. Then check back later and see what happened. This habit builds real discipline faster than almost anything else.
And trust me, when you start tracking those good folds, you're going to see your own worst habits staring you right in the face. You'll see this clear pattern of wanting to chase pumps or trading on a slow afternoon just because you're bored. Seeing that stuff in black and white makes it impossible to ignore, and it gives you the fuel you need to finally stop.
All right, so we've got the mindset and we've got the system. Now let's tie it all together with a pretty surprising fact that shows you what this whole professional approach actually looks like in the real world.
Just take a look at this number, 5 to 15. What do you think that represents? The number of trades a pro takes in a single day, maybe a week?
The answer is probably going to shock you. Many incredibly profitable full-time traders are taking just 5 to 15 trades per month. Yeah, it's the complete opposite of that screen-addicted high-action image we all have. It is a game of extreme patience.
So why so few? Well, it's because those 5 to 15 trades are the only ones that pass that hard entry checklist with flying colors. They are the A-plus, no-brainer setups. They've got the perfect market context, a great entry price, a super clear exit if things go wrong, and a massive potential reward. Everything else, it was a fold.
And that really brings us to the core idea of this whole thing. Your edge in the market doesn't come from being a psychic who can predict the future. It comes from being so selective, so disciplined, that you only even participate when the odds are just massively stacked in your favor.
And when you do that, you fundamentally change your entire approach. You stop trading based on emotion and impulse, and you start operating like a professional running a business based on probability. You stop gambling, and you start executing.
So I'll leave you with a question. The next time you feel that itch, that urge to jump into a trade, don't ask yourself, should I take this trade? Instead, I want you to ask yourself, is this a trade I should be proud to fold?